read about it. It is on the cover of the paper
What
that
papers?
our son is a target.
Daily News, the Post.
Yeah, the
Since
Daily
when do they
News
tell
and
the
the
truth?
I already buried a son. You want me to bury another, then you will bury me too.
Well, we're obviously in a place that John Gotti would have hung out. How do you prepare to play the most notorious gangster since Al Capone?
Well, interestingly enough, Al Capone and Dillinger were not as well loved as John Gotti. So my main feat was to find out why he was loved. And the first thing I found out through an interview with local venues was that when he took a percentage of your business, as long as you were in the black, if you went into the red, he not only would not take it, but he would get you back in the black. And that was one big reason that everyone liked him, because you never went out of business. The second reason was that he financed a lot of celebrations in the neighborhoods, and he also would help people out if they weren't doing well, either medically or, there's one scene in the movie where the boxer's lost his career, he reopens the gym for him. So those were the things that made him a little different from the gangsters we're very familiar with. I that was the first thing I needed to know, because then it was easier to play him knowing that, that I could have a dichotomy or a duality.
Right. And for you, Kelly, playing Victoria Gotti, you got to spend a lot of time with Victoria, right? And the Gottis were on set.
Yeah.
Did that help, or is that tougher?
Enormously helpful. It was so amazing because there's very little footage of her online. I got one 8-minute interview and a few little clips, and that was it. So we spent the day with her. She cooked us lunch, amazing cook, and she was completely open to anything and everything that I asked her. And then we became email friends, and we still to this day email each other. And she's amazing. She's a very strong, wickedly smart, funny woman. Was madly in love with her husband, adores her kids, protects her kids, and it was fantastic. As an actor, to have that access was amazing. And then Junior was on the set every single day, behind the camera, looking at the monitor, every scene with input, and we loved it. Both of us loved it.
Yeah, and you actually wore some of his real clothing, his real jewelry, John Gotti's?
They were very generous in allowing us to use his personal effects. The coat that I wore in the beginning and the end of the movie actually still had the cologne scent of his, and the jewelry I got to use in the handkerchiefs, and it was a little haunting, but interesting, and helped. I think any of those little things help an actor become more into the role.
Yeah.
You didn't get to keep any of that stuff, did you?
No, we didn't keep anything.
No.
She gave me her wedding ring and her most
But not to
prized
keep.
ring. Not to keep, absolutely. No, just but she had never taken off this one ring since he had given it to her until she gave it to me for the 6 weeks of shooting. So that was pretty amazing.
Wow.
They were very helpful. I mean, honestly, all their because they had a criteria for both of us, so we wanted to live up to that criteria. And being on the set, it was a good kind of pressure, because we felt if they believed it, then we would convince others that we were actually in character.
Right. Now, this is a passion project for you for a long time, right? I mean, it took a long time for this movie to get made. How much time, and why were you so passionate about it?
Well, I think I was flattered at first that the family had chosen me to play dad and husband, and I think the more I found out about him and his family and his the way he did business and how smart he was with it, more intriguing it came. So even though we went through several scripts, several casts, several directors, we finally honed it down to the right, which was very much more reflective of John Jr.'s book that he wrote. We got the right movie finally.
Mm-hmm. Now, why was Victoria so loyal to John? You talked about how much she loved him. Did she know what was going on outside the house?
They were passionately in love, and for many years prior to him being a made man, And you fall in love with who you fall in love with. And they had kids. And she told me when he left that door, through the door, that was a different life. They never spoke about it. They never once brought it up. He came home, he was father, husband, her man, and that was it. So that's exactly how she felt about it.
Right. You and John have been married almost 30 years. If you found out he was in the mob, how would you handle that?
I'd be pissed.
You mean I'm not? I am now.
I mean,
What are you
Chiaverini,
saying?
Travolta, ends in a
What are you
vowel.
saying?
You know what I thought was really great about the movie is that you used real footage. You know, you saw Tom Brokaw broadcasting the real events that happened, and the scenes were recreated. You know, Castellano getting murdered on the street were recreated identically. How important do you think that was in making the story more believable?
Because this was a historical situation that was documented with complete accuracy, I think it was very important because, you know, other mob films are primarily fictitious or they're reflection of the truth.
Or embellished and
So we were the absolute truth because the family wanted it to be so. So we did whatever we could to make it accurate.
When you think about the fall of Gotti, was it his ego or his flashiness, him being on the street so much? What do you think it was?
I think that it was the RICO law that did not only away with him, but that did away with the mafia as they knew it. The La Cosa Nostra, which had a kind of honor, loyalty, integrity. These are all factors that was the fabric of the mafia. Then when one person could be protected by the government, even if they committed 26 murders,
yeah, they'd be pardoned.
they'd be pardoned, then that ended all the kind of old-fashioned loyalty, honor, and what have you.
Right. I'm out of time, but before I let you go, we did a 70s show on Windy City Live, and I need your honest opinion. That's me.
Oh yeah.
It is not.
That's me.
That's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
You're the man.
That is so awesome.
You gotta put
Wow.
this
But
on
you gotta
your
show
refrigerator, John.
it to your.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Here you
Yeah.
go.
We'll be showing that on
Okay,
camera.
good.
that's fantastic.
Throwback Thursday, baby.
How's the hair? I mean, the hair, the
It's-
cleft.
It's there.
You
It's
got it.
definitely there. I love it. That's great.
Thank you so much. Good luck with the film.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
very welcome.